Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are joining us from. You are welcome to yet another session brought to you by the Hailerz Residency. My name is Gare, Oke-Eriemo, and today I will be taking you on something very, very important in this season and age, right? That's diversity. Before I say anything, I want you to understand that diversity is not really just about races or cultures. It's really about maximizing human differences to an impactful end. What that means is you're not just trying to be a part of another culture. That's why you're embracing diversity. No, you're trying to ensure that whatever this culture, whatever these personalities, be it different ages, different languages, different kind of content that appeal to them, you are ensuring that it's used for a better outcome. All right. So I tagged this session diversity by design for creators and founders. However, I had to expand it. We're looking at it from a growth lever, right? We're ensuring that we show creatives, founders, and freelancers how to transform diversity and accessibility into powerful growth drivers. So like I said, it's not just about knowing what diversity is, it's making the most of it and bringing something uniquely acceptable out of it. So we'll discover how expanding your talent pipeline. What that means is we talk about how in some places you can easily tell that the CEO is Yoruba, for example, as for those of us that are Nigerians, maybe because the chief operating officers in that particular company are all Yoruba, right? So you see some things of that nature, or you see people that have a certain background, maybe they are all Ivy League graduates working in that firm. As much as that is good, what diversity brings is that it expands your talent pipeline. The fact that someone doesn't go to an Ivy League school doesn't mean that they can't sit in the same room as an Ivy League graduate, or they can't even run on the same program or even be better, right? We'll look at reaching new customer segments. I believe that everyone on this call is either doing a thing, being a freelancer, a business owner, or a creative, and you want to hit the global market. What it means for you is that diversity shows you how you can reach new customer segments. You think you know everything about your customers right now, but it's because you're really dealing with a sect of people, right? So I will also look at how, for those of you that are building businesses that are looking towards getting investors, we're looking at meeting investor expectations, right, with diversity. I remember one time we had a pitch deck for a company I was working with at the time. And one of the things we wanted to showcase was that some members of the team are in different parts of Africa because it was a product we're designing. So we went with the tagline for Africans by Africans. So it's a dating app. It's called Spouse. Maybe you can check it online. Although it's on a pause right now, but I think they have like a better version online that everyone can access. So what we were selling at the point in time, because we had team members from Ghana, team members from Kenya, team members from South Africa, and of course Nigeria, because the founder was from or is from Nigeria. So these are the things we're going to be looking at, and the benefits as well. All right. So please, I'd encourage you, don't be a stranger. Make use of the comment section to ask your questions, and if there's anything you want clarity on, please by all means, draw my attention to it, and I will do justice to them as well. Also, the next thing we're going to look at is unlocking new horizons, right? Why does diversity matter now? Of course, diversity is not a new word. It's something that we pretty much have heard over time. We must even used it, when we are giving all those profound speeches. We're saying, oh, I'm from a very diverse background, but you probably don't know what diversity means, right? So, but why does it matter now? Why are we talking about diversity now? So, in today's global landscape, diversity isn't just a buzzword. Don't say it because everybody's saying it. It is a strategic imperative. It is important that we embrace it. Why should we embrace it? Because it expands talent pools. One of the best, or I said the best, one of the best front end developers I've ever worked with is a Ghanaian, right? It goes by the name Justice 𝗧cie𝗽𝗶𝗰. You could check him up on LinkedIn, and he came in as an intern, right? One of the things we did at the time, we had to reach out to Alt School. For as many of you that know what Alt School is, but those that do not, Alt School is basically a school that you learn, tech skills. But we reached out at the time that we needed interns for our project, and we wanted people from different countries, right? And that made it even amazing. So you get to learn new cultures, from this place. So one of the things we did was even a team bonding exercise. I said, okay, different team members are going to run this team bonding exercise. And so if you're Ghanaian, you're giving us a Ghanaian perspective, give us a journey into Ghana. If you're from South Africa, give us a journey into South Africa. If you're Nigerian, of course, let us know the cultures here. So one of the things diversity does, right, is that it gives you access to a wider range of skills, perspectives, and innovative thinking. The way you will think as maybe someone from the UK, it's not the same way you would think as someone from the US, because the environments are different. And we can't dismiss the fact that our environments shape how we think or how we respond or react to things in our environment, right? If you have not been in a space where brainstorming is a norm, when you come into a company where brainstorming is a norm, you find it hard to be innovative, right? Because why? There's no room that has been created. There's one of my friend that works in the UK, and he talked about a space in his office where you have like an entire room. It's not a boardroom, it's just an open space where staffs can go there to just let off steam or just get themselves back together. You don't expect someone from that company, right, that has that access to deal with situations the same way you do, right? He'll show up to every single meeting on cue, meaning when he or she is feeling some type of way, they go to that room, let off steam. But you that maybe the place you're working, see your deck, see your next person's deck, you're not even breathing, you're breathing each other's perfumes, right? It will not be the same for you. So, but what does this do for us when we say we're expanding our talent pools, right? It gives us, new skills, new ideas, new perspectives, and it really helps. I guarantee you. I've worked with a few people from different parts of Africa and some parts of America before, and I can tell you that different perspectives, right? It also gives you access to reaching new markets. So if you're a creative, for example, although we'll talk about it in the next slide, right? If you're a creative and you're on Instagram, for example, or you're on TikTok, as much as you believe the algorithm places you in front of everybody's face, it doesn't. What that means is that you need to have to jump on trends that are finding expression in a particular region for you to be in their face, right? You won't be on everybody's FYP if you're not doing something that's relating to what they are used to there, right? Of course, if you're let's talk about music, for example, right? I'll give the example in the next slide, but then let's talk about music. The Super Bowl that usually happens, Super Bowl halftime show that happens every year. It's always a big deal for artists, right? But you are wondering, why is it a big deal? Because for Christ's sake, these artists are big, right? You believe that they are all over the world, but I guarantee you they are not. But what Super Bowl does for them is it gives them a platform that they naturally would not get even with their own music or with their own advertisement. So what does it do for you? Diversity connects you with undeserved customers, underserved customers, customer segments, and it helps you grow your audience. So you find out that there are a group of people in this world that need your service, but they don't even know how to access it. For example, let's do a simple analogy. You have a team, right? And on all your team members are Indians, for example, and but then you want to pitch to an American investor. Wouldn't it help to have someone that speaks English on your team? If the rest of your team members are indigenous, there's just one team member that can speak English. I'm sure it will help. Tell me on the comments section if you think it will help. Maybe it may not help, right? Maybe you just have to do translation. But what if the person doesn't want to translate? The person wants to have like a full day. Oh, I want to talk to your representative. Let's go out on a trip. Let's go have lunch. Let's talk, right? In that situation, are you going to be going around with the translator? So tell me, would that really help? Now, so it helps you connect, right, with these markets when you have this understanding. So when you know that you're embracing not just different cultures, people with different, thank you very much, Anita, people with different ideologies, it helps you reach their market. So they give you access to their market. And I talked about meeting investor expectations. You align with modern investment principles. The one you think you know, right, may not be all that there is to know. For example, if you're so used to going to hackathons or maybe tech about for those of us that are in Nigeria and you're pitching your tech startup there, it is not the same thing as when you go to an incubator or an accelerator program. But how would you know if you've not been in this space or try to be in these spaces? So diversity. So don't think that because this particular market is not your market at the moment, or there's an hindrance, there's a barrier, then it's not for me. Find a way around the barrier. I would always tell business owners, if you see that there's money around the table, then leave the table, go to the other side, find a way to get to the other side, speak to who you need to speak to, communicate who you need to communicate to, be friends with who you need to be friends with, shake hands with who you need to shake hands with, but just make sure that you don't miss what is on the other side of the table. and diversity brings that into play. Now, this is why I said I was going to give an example, right? So there's a rise of streamers network. How many of us can tell us what they know? If you know what a streamers network is, just tell me on the comment section. A streamers network. If you don't know, say you don't know. So we know that we're educating some people today and we expand our knowledge for others. So tell me on the comment section. I know, or if you know, say I know. If you don't know, say I don't know. Do you know what the streamers network is? So I need 1-2 responses on the comment section before I move ahead, so I can be sure that we're all following. Okay, thank you, Anita. She doesn't know. Okay, one more response. One more response. One more response. I see Nathaniel on the call. I see Obaru. I see Christabel. Tell me one more response. Are we shy? I believe we're not shy. I believe we're not shy. Okay, so let's just move ahead. Now, a streamers network is basically let's call it the platform whereby you are informing a group of people about something, right? For example, people come online and they want to maybe see an artist in your set. It's like an interval. It's like a talk show, but in your dorm, in your house, or in a safe space that you've created, right? And it's just most time one person. Sometimes they invite their friends, right? Now, streamers network was not such a big deal here in Nigeria for a very long time, but now it is. You see the likes of people like Shank Comics, right, having his own streamers platform. You see the likes of what's the name of this Yoruba boy? I'm trying to remember his name. That his girlfriend is Jarvis, or so if you can remember, just tell us in the comment section, right? But these things were not there before. Everybody was doing their content. You know, Shank was doing his comedy before. This guy was doing his own skits as well. But then it became a norm. Why? Because they opened themselves. Pella, thank you very much. Because they opened themselves. So for Nigerians and African creators, digital streaming platforms have revolutionized access to global audiences. It's not the same for us. Shank had to go to 𝗧cie𝗽𝗶𝗰 School of Streamers in the US, right? Just to be able to understand how this thing works. So this particular thing is a new phenomenon. What does that do for is the fact that he's a comedian, like a skit maker, he expands his reach. So while he's streaming right now, he's just gathering fan base for his Instagram. So he has more engagement on the same jokes that he may have made before, maybe the same content he may have made before, but he embraced something new. So like I said, diversity is not all about just people or cultures. There are structures, there are systems. You're embracing new systems, right? So it's a phenomenon previously unimaginable. I guarantee you, you never would have thought about it as a thing. You stay in one platform, people are texting you, and we normally go on live. We go on live on Instagram and other platforms over time, and we don't make the most out of it. But these people found something to make out of it, and they're making serious money. I tell you, they're making serious money, right? This may be a very touchy example for some people, but even the OnlyFans was not existent before. People embraced something, right? So what that means for us is wherever you find yourself, embrace diversity. Ask yourself, what am I doing right now, right, that I could be doing better? What am I doing right now that I shouldn't be doing? And what am I not doing that I should be doing? Then you start thinking. Think of your competitors, learn from them, become better than them. So before the advent of streaming, right, geographical boundaries and and limited distribution channels severely restricted reach. I guarantee you, I can tell you that the number of engagements that maybe Shank Comics is getting right now, it cannot be compared to what he was getting before he went. So that's cool. He started having a streamers platform. So now artists, storytellers. So by storytellers, I don't just mean just content creators. Even founders are storytellers. You tell us your story. That's how you sell, right? So they can now share their work directly with millions worldwide, fostering unprecedented growth and cultural exchange. Why? Because of this platform. I see T-Pain even has his own streamers. T-Pain that is a big shot in the music industry. Now he's into gaming, right? He had to embrace something new because he saw that according to T-Pain, he said he makes more money from gaming than he ever did when he was in music, and he was that good. Diversity. So if your mindset is just in one triangle, right, I guarantee you won't scale as much as you should have or you could have. So if you're here on this call today, you are thinking, this market has so many demands. Maybe your market is you're selling a product online, it's only in English. And then you want to connect to people in Spain, you want to connect to people in France, then you have to have subtitles, or you have to have translations rather, right? So your content should have translation. What we are putting out should have a translation. When we buy phones, for example, we see the manual, we see different language. How many of us have bought a phone or bought a gadget before, right? Tell me in the comment section, right? You bought a gadget before. You see, Dr. Steve is even into gaming too. I didn't even know that. See, fantastic. And these are new things. These are people that they are big in their industries. I found something so crazy yesterday. So the CEO of Goldman Sachs, right, is a DJ on the side. As old as he is, I'm sure that man's well over 50. Guess what? He has 250,000 monthly listeners on Spotify every single month. 250,000 people are listening to a CEO of Goldman Sachs. Right, so it's a corporate personality, but he has a passion for something. He could have said, "Oh, for my image, I don't want people to see me that way." He embraced something new. He has what do they call it? It's like a beat that he made or something that he put on the internet. Right, in a short space of time, he got 12 million views. As a CEO, you would think that nobody will pay attention because CEOs are supposedly boring people, right? But he found something, he nurtured it. You can Google it. These are facts. The Goldman Sachs CEO is a DJ, right? And he has over 250,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. So this gives you a path. So what he's doing now, he basically will not find a way to convert his listeners, his monthly listeners, into customers for Goldman Sachs. Diversity. So actually, what am I embracing? Right? Maybe if you're a business owner, the business model you have been using since 1960 is still the same. Why? And you expect different results. Of course, that cannot really happen. So I already gave the example of the Super Bowl, but I'll just take it again for more details, right? So consider the global impact of events like the Super Bowl halftime show. These spectacles transcend geographical and network channel restrictions. Yes, if you are in Ghana, for example, the kind of channels you have access to is not the same thing someone in Nigeria does. It may not be the same thing. It may not be the same thing someone in Nigeria has, but I guarantee you, it's not really the same thing someone in the US has access to. You may be looking at CNN, and the content you're receiving on CNN in Nigeria, it's not the same thing with someone in the UK. Why? Because of restrictions. So they filter this information. But with a show like that, no filters. The Super Bowl halftime show goes around the world. Around the world. When Rihanna had not done a song, I think in like 2 years. And she had the feature for the halftime show, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Right? Her song started getting listenings again. And she hasn't still dropped any I want to say tangible songs, right? She hasn't really dropped a song since then. But yet she's getting more monthly listeners than she has, ever before. Why? Because of that show. So imagine she will have said, and do you know the funny thing? They don't pay you to perform at the halftime show. From what I gather, I may be wrong. So please tell me if I'm wrong, right? So we're not sharing fake information here. But from what I gather, you're not being paid to perform at the halftime show. It is free. I say it's free. They're not giving you money. You're coming there to perform. I'm sure you haven't spent your own money for props and setups, right? Getting your dancers, and everything. But because of what you will benefit at the end of the day, you don't really look at it. And the halftime show it's an event on its own, so they make money already on plus. Then plus you perform. They make money on you. You're not getting a penny, but because of what the reach it will give you, diversity. So this demonstrates, right, that the immense power of broad distribution to amplify diverse voices and talents. For example, Hailerz Residency is diversity. They are doing something that not very many platforms. I don't even really know a platform directly that does this. It gives you a feel of a Big Brother Ninja, but like a virtual one, right? You have different challenges on the Hailerz community. You have the Hailerz Residency. I saw I don't know, it's a chicken challenge, right, not too long ago, right? And then you have different platforms. The fact that I'm speaking to you right now is diversity. When you go on the Hailerz platform, you see different topics. You wonder what's the relatedness of this topic, but they are of great benefit to different people. So if you don't want to look further, look here. If you're maybe you got the link from someone, you join this call, go to the Instagram handle of the Hailerz community, find them out on Instagram, find them out on LinkedIn, and see the amazing things that they are doing. They are truly embracing diversity, right? And they're entertaining audiences regardless of locations. I go there and I see their residency program. I see people that from Liberia. I see their workshops from different parts of Africa, and I think the rest of the world. Different voices. So the way I would teach you on business model, it's not the same way someone from India would teach you. Why? Different environments. So how would you know if you don't embrace it? So I'd encourage every single one of you. It doesn't matter what you are doing. It doesn't matter if you're a freelancer, you're a creative, you're a founder, right? Find a way to bring this in. Now, we're talking about diversity from cultures, from age, from race, but let's talk about, ability and disability. I want to show you guys something, right? Kindly confirm that you can see the next slide this next tab on my screen. Can you see a hello, I am Oladapo Bolaji? Let me know if you can see it. What can you see on my screen? Okay, you just lost connection. Oh, sorry about that, Anita. Who can see my screen showing hello, I am Oladapo Bolaji? Oh, thank you very much, Christabel. Fantastic. Now, oh, thank you. Now, do you know why I'm showing you this? Now, I'll tell you a very short story about Oladapo. As you can see, he's a front-end developer, and I will just take you through his page. Feel free to, oh, thank you very much, Faith. Feel free to check it out yourself. Now, I can't show its picture here because I didn't take permission from him. I only asked for his portfolio. I didn't have the time to get his picture, so I would have shown you. But I'm going somewhere. I have known the brother, his elder brother, for almost 10 years now, right? We've been very good friends. At the point we even live together. Now he wanted to learn front-end development some few years back, and he picked it up. And in the words of his trainers, he was so good, super good at it. And so he works on different websites. He sends to me, and I'm like, wow, right? Of course, someone doing something great, you will support them. So from time to time, if I see job openings, I share with him, and like I said, he's doing so well. But that's not what struck me, right? I went for his elder brother's wedding in 2023, and I got to finally meet him face to face. He comes and he hugs me, and when we're taking pictures, right, I noticed something. So there's this, I don't know the name for it, I don't know, but it's a medical condition, right, where one of your hands are a bit smaller than your other hand, right? And I see him and I'm like, what? Like, so one of his hands is smaller than the other, and throughout the event I'm seeing him carrying things that every other person would carry. And of course, because of where I'm coming from, I think I always just assume that maybe because one hand is smaller, it's not as strong, or it's not even strong at all, they don't even use it, right? I see him working, but then I see the websites that he has done. If I had known him before, right, before ever giving him a job, or looking at what he's done, I would say, but maybe you have a slower pace in completing stuff because of his hands. But nah, right? So let's just quickly just run through. I can't post his picture, like I said, I didn't take his permission. I will have just shown you, right? These are the stuff that he has been working on, right? So far, these are his skills, right? And these are not caps, right? If you can visit his site, maybe I'll drop his link on the comment section. Let me just do that so every one of you can check it out, right? So I'm calling free publicity, but he deserves it. These are some of his projects, right? He has done a tech web online course platform. He has done a BMI calculator. He has built a solar company website, news app, and many more that when you reach out to him, you get to find out all those things. Why am I saying this, right? We have to come to a position in time in our various spaces where we have to accept that everybody is capable of doing something. There's an ability in disability. There's an ability in disability. There's something we have here in Abuja called the Founders Friday, right? We do that every last Friday of the month. So you come in as a founder. You come in as a founder, and you have opportunities to pitch your company. You can either get people that you want to partner, you can get investors. We even have ads credit, 10,000 credit on AWS, right? Different things that we do. Although I don't attend all the events, but I mostly follow their information, and the ones that I can attend, I attend. Now they have a compare there, right? Someone that that acts like a host, more or less, and he is not tall. But maybe for medical condition, let's just call him a dwarf for medical conditions, right? But guess what? I don't think anybody has carried an audience as much as that guy does, right? And before he starts, he will tell you, look down, look to me, right? And he delivers. Right, he delivers. There's a lady in Lagos. I'm trying to remember her name. Right, she runs a sickle cell non-profit. Right, but she runs on a wheelchair, and that non-profit has been on for years, doing groundbreaking stuff. If it was up to where she is, they would say, oh, she's not working. What can we give her? How can she deliver? But she does. She goes on stages. She speaks. So if you're here and you're thinking maybe I have this challenge, I have this, it's not a limitation. But if you're here on this call and you don't embrace people with disability, start now, because they may just be better than the person that you think is whole in your team. I guarantee you. I've given you 2 reasons now, and these ones I know them on a personal level, right? You're so good at what they do. So good. Now the IAAP, sorry about that, right? They have an accessibility program. I'll also share the link on the comment section, right? It teaches you how to create programs and nurture skills and build teams, right? That gives accessibility to all. What that means is that it kind of certifies you before every other person that this person, he understands the right kind of frameworks to build. He understands the right kind of partners to have, right? It doesn't matter what race they are from. He understands. He just knows how to get what he wants. So true diversity includes accessibility. So the International Association of Accessibility Professionals, right? They offer creator-friendly courses to equip you with these essential skills. So if you're like me, or if you're like me a couple of years back when you already just, let's call it a stigma, you already stigmatized people with disabilities because you felt like they couldn't do things, I guarantee you this course will help you. It will change your mind. It will help you first of all understand core principles, right? You will learn the fundamentals of accessible design and content creation. So you make sure that what you are building, right, it assesses everybody, right? Every single person. Doesn't matter what the race, doesn't matter what the tribe, it doesn't even matter how long it takes the person to assimilate. It doesn't matter the language barrier, it doesn't matter the geographical location. What they give you here prepares you, right? So you understand what are the principles. What should I have at the back of my mind? Doesn't matter the region, but what should I have at the back of my mind? It shows you practical application. So it's not just all talks. You will gain actionable insights to implement accessibility in your projects. So as you're learning, you're doing. As you're learning, you're doing. There's this video I find very funny on the internet all the time when I see it, from what's his name? He says 𝗧cie𝗽𝗶𝗰. I'm trying to remember. I usually remember his name, but I don't know. I'm forgetting his name right now. So he started doing a series, right, for people that are single, and he says, as you're watching this video, type as you laugh, you learn, right? So it's practical. It's basically saying do something with what I'm telling you right now, and that's really what this program does for you. So aside just gaining knowledge, you are actually having the opportunity to practice them. So if you have your team, you are practicing accessibility with your team, right? If you're looking for partners, you're practicing accessibility with partners. But more importantly, it boosts your portfolio. If you're going to international market or the global market, they want to see that you have the capability to attract diverse clients. It doesn't matter where the region they are from. They want to see that you embrace diversity. They want to see you embrace different cultures, and it not borders in what you put out. Femi Babs, thank you very much, Nathaniel. God bless you. Femi Babs, right? You are laughing, but you're learning. And sometimes when I listen to some stuff, when I'm watching and I'm laughing, I'm saying, "Oh, that's true, guy. You have not done this thing. You have not done this thing. Do this thing. Do this thing." Right? And that feel is what this program gives to you. So it's very practical. It's very practical. Like I said, I'll drop the link on the chat box for every one of you to get abreast with it. Right? But so far so good. Let's pause. Are you learning anything? Am I too fast? Tell me on the comment section. 1 or 2 responses should suffice. Then we move on. Thank you very much, Adams. Oh, and I want to sincerely appreciate everyone that has been active so far. Thank you, Nathaniel. Thank you, Horace. Thank you, Christabel, Anita, Adams. Fantastic people. Thank you for the consistent engagement on the comment section. Okay, so for sake of time, let's just move on. I want you guys to do this, right? And it's practical. Oh, thank you very much, Anita. It's practical. This is what I want to do for you. This is your 30-day playbook, right? Now, of course, I didn't list it on a day-to-day basis. You can take the horse to the river, but you're not, forced to drink water. So I don't want to do that for you guys. I want you to do the breakdown yourself, right? So here's a concise plan to diversify, your collaborations, your project briefs within the next 1 month. It doesn't matter what you're doing. I guarantee you. What you want to do this week, this first week. So your first week starts from on Monday. On Monday should be the 22nd, right? You can take a screenshot of this. It will really help you. Identify diverse communities and platforms that are relevant to your niche. So what are you? You're a writer, you are a graphic designer, or your company does registrations, or your company sells products. Identify the most diverse of communities, even the ones that you think technology has not reached there. Identify them, right? Identify the platforms that are very relevant to your niche. So if you're the company owner, you're saying maybe you're a content creator, you're on LinkedIn, you're not on TikTok. Of course, LinkedIn is good, but why are you not on TikTok? You're a content creator. You're not on Instagram. You're not on Facebook. You're mostly on Twitter and LinkedIn, or you're on Medium and LinkedIn, and it's video content you are doing. I know now. So you want to get all the platforms. When I was a kid, I learned about MySpace. I learned MySpace from watching Nickelodeon. I used to watch all those all those Big Time Rush, not the Big Time is going to recent, those iCarly, those old series, right? Those Victorious that had they had a MySpace platform for them when we were using PeerPad to communicate. So I said, oh, this thing, I thought it was fictional, and I checked MySpace was actually a social media, and I created an account immediately, right? It may be a fake account, but at the time I got invited to this iCarly girl's birthday from an iCarly account. They were starting, the person would say hi, I'll greet the person too, we talk about life. But I'm sure by now, I don't think that was a real person. Thank God I didn't get scammed or anything, right? So, but you want to know what those platforms are, right? Then you want to connect. It's not enough that you have discovered. Actively seek out and build relationships with diverse collaborators. I gave an example of Shank Comics. Now he's close with 𝗧cie𝗽𝗶𝗰, right? So opportunities will be coming from that association. He willfully went there. I just saw today, there's this person, we call him the son of prophet, right? He used to mimic Bishop David Oyedepo, for those of you that are Christians or in Nigeria, at some point in time. So he just mentioned today that he paid for the London School of Digital Marketing to go and school there. Of course, he's good at market, he's good at what he does. Why is he going there? Connection. He's seeking out and he wants to build relationship with diverse collaborators. So when he increases his fee, don't question him. He's spending thousands of pounds, to get this knowledge. So you want to do that for yourself too. You want to diversify briefs. So what does that mean? You incorporate inclusive themes. If your contents before have always been for only male, right, and you see that your contents are not harmful to female, find a way to infuse that. If your content is only in English, if you can't speak Spanish, find a sound that is in Spanish that they will resonate with, right? So you now start defining themes for what you do. So you now know the accessibility requirements. Oh, before I can use this particular song or this particular thing in this region, what do I need to know? What do I need to do? Right? And then lastly, you want to review and refine. Don't throw anything. Don't, people say just cast it out. If you stay on it too much, you may not want to do it. That's true. But what you have created before you start implementing, gather feedback, check with people to be sure that your approach, right, creates room for continuous improvement. Not that it's a one-time wonder. Not that it's a one-hit wonder. You just do one thing, you break the internet, and the next content that are following cannot meet up. All right. So as I believe everyone has taken a snapshot now of this particular screen, So you can find a way to always communicate with the Hailerz network, maybe from Instagram, send them a DM, tell us about your progress. We want to know how far you are going with this play, because we want you to embrace diversity across board. All right. Now I'm going to be moving so fast so we can get to the questions. Now, practical steps for inclusive collaborations. If you're asking, I want to start today, I want to take action now, right? Building a diverse team and client base requires intentional effort. But this is what just helps you put a daily practice, right? Expand your network, attend virtual events. Oh, you are saying I cannot attend COP26. Attend virtually. Or I cannot attend these big events where I will meet these people. I cannot go to the London School of Digital Marketing. Find an online course. Courses now on Udemy now have some certain level of communities. If you're white, if you go to the Q&A, right, reach out to them, or you find a way to connect to them directly, and then you build from there. You build your circles from there. Join communities. You're a writer, you should belong to a writing community. You're an artist, you belong to an artist community. It's not competition, it's collaboration. Collaboration is the new competition, right? Blind review processes. Remove identifying information from applications and reduce unconscious bias when you're hiring. This is for founders or CEOs, right? Be open. Be open. Start thinking how your business can function in different time zones. You want to go global, right? Start thinking. If all your stand-up meetings are in West African time because your team members are Nigerian, start thinking, what if I had a team member from Australia? What time of the day can we fix that it will be okay with them? What if I had a team member from the US? What if I had a team member from Canada? Start thinking that way. Start thinking that way right now. What if I had a client from the US? You may want to start getting a US, a USD account, bank account open. Or what if I have a client from the UK? What are the compliance laws in UK? Right? What does an NDA in UK look like? What does an NDA in US look like? What does an NDA in Nigeria look like? You need to get all this information down. Accessible communication. Ensure all your communications and content meet accessibility standards, which is why you need to go to the IAA platform to assess their courses, amongst other platforms, right? There may be other platforms, but this is what I'm recommending for you. Go there, assess their courses. They are very easy to handle, very easy to complete actually in a short period of time, and you can navigate through and get this accessibility standards met. So you're entering new markets, you're not entering blindly, you're entering with full information. Now, designing for global reach. This is where we're coming into, right? This is the main thing of this session. I gave an example, like I said, of the streamers network, right? It gives you the idea of a global perspective. You want to consider multilingual contents. If you're a video content creator, think of having subtitles in different languages or translations at best, or localized versions of your work. I like the way social media platforms are quite differentiated. It was a square size for Instagram before. Now it's not so much of a square size, right? It was 1080 by 1080 before, but now it's a 1080 by I think 1103. If I'm not very sure of the other figure. So meaning the flyer you use for Instagram should not be what you use for LinkedIn. You have to have an edit. So if you can do that for flyer, why not versions of your content that speaks to a different demography? Think about it. Think about it. Have you noticed it now that when content creators are doing videos on the internet, maybe the same podcast session, they have 4 different records in short clips. You think that is just to gain your attention? No, they're speaking to different audiences at the different videos that they're posting. So the content you're putting out there for yourself, for your brand, for your company, what audience are you speaking to? Is it the same audience yesterday, today, and forever? Think about that. Culturally relevant themes, right? We're in an age where, for example, diversity is a theme. So you want to embrace diversity even in your workspace. Inclusion is a team. You want to embrace inclusion in your team. So there's DEI, so there's diversity, there's inclusion. What's the other one? There's equality, there's equity. You want to embrace equity, right? If you're a company right now that you're all male, there's a problem. You're all female, there's a problem. Even if yes, maybe your females they are doing so well, or the males are doing so well, try and open your doors to a different gender, or everybody in your team because you're Igbo, everybody in your team is Igbo. No, open up your team. It's a risk, but I guarantee you, if you follow the right standards, if you meet the accessibility standards, you've qualified yourself, you will not regret the decision of embracing these new cultures. Platform optimization. Understand how different streaming platforms serve diverse regions. Like I made mention, I gave an example of the square size for Instagram. It's not the same flyer that runs for LinkedIn. it could appear there, but you can't, it's not the same size. It's not the same size for Facebook. So how they will appear when you just see them are not the same. For example, X, for example, the word count is shorter than it is for every other platforms. So of course, meaning we are communicating you're trying to see how what you have written 6 paragraphs on LinkedIn, you see how you can reduce to 3 paragraphs on Instagram and 1 paragraph on X and still convey the same message. So I'm using platforms now as regions, right? But let's look at regions in general, right? There are communities, for example, there are communities like in Canada, there are places in Canada where they speak French, and you want to reach there, and maybe you find out from your research, like we mentioned earlier, and we talked about, look at it, we talked about define and research. You've done your research, you find out that, oh, the thing I'm doing, my major customer science is Saskatchewan in Canada, meaning I need to know French. You don't need to know French. So maybe while you open a Duolingo account and you're picking a thing or two, you are actually creating content in French, or use the internet, use AI. Please, rephrase what I've written or rewrite it in French. Or can this video create translations for me in French? Start from there. But make sure you're embracing different cultures, because you're expanding your market. I guarantee you, you are expanding your market. You are expanding your market. You are expanding your market. Measuring your impact. It's not enough that you start. It's not enough that you do. The most important thing is that you can trace something. Whatever is not traceable, it's not retainable. Whatever is not traceable, it's not retainable. If there's no footprint to what you are doing, you can't sustain it. So track your progress, right? And most importantly, celebrate the benefit of diversity first approach. Ensure that you come to terms with the fact that I will be better off if I embrace diversity. Come to that terms first of all. You have to start there. If you don't come to the terms, all we're discussing today is a waste of time. Believe that diversity is for me and it will work for me. Then you start from there, right? Now, what does it mean to measure? Increase audience engagement from your new demographic. So you want to check that. Some of us have Instagram pages who have never checked analytics once. We don't even have reports. We think it's only a corporate space thing. If you're not responsible in yourself as a freelancer, you cannot be responsible as a business owner, because the reports you don't create as a freelancer, you find it hard to create it as a company. And it's who you are that you breathe into what you're doing. So if you are the type of person that you're not accountable, right? You don't check your speech. If like for example, I'm from Delta, I'm Urobo by tribe, right? And in Delta people speak pidgin a lot. When I'm in Delta, I find it very hard to speak English, but I've been speaking English with you guys since I've been here, right? But when I come to Abuja, where I live, right, from Delta, for the first 1-2 weeks, pidgin is in my mouth, and sometimes I'm talking, I'm like, do you understand, right? So because I know this, when I come back from that, I don't really associate for like 1-2 weeks, so that thing leaves my mouth. I'm not ashamed of pidgin, right? But there's some places that you don't speak pidgin in, right? So, but this is me doing a personal assessment. I'm checking the engagement. So you want to still do same across, but like I said, it's what you are that you breathe, into your businesses. The reason why I'm watching the pidgin is, of course, that the people from Delta or from Edo or from those places, Port Harcourt, the pidgin there is not the same thing as other parts of Nigeria. I stand to be corrected if you're from other places that I know mention, sorry, or the ones that own pidgin, right? So I could have a slang and you don't understand what I'm saying. So to avoid that explanation, because you would explain entire, no evidence, pidgin now, right? So avoid that kind of explanation. I just genuinely just stick to English. So higher talent retention and team satisfaction. Okay, you embrace diversity, you employed someone from Ghana. Check, right? Did the person stay long enough? And check your other team members. So have team reports. When I was people manager for Spouse on the online dating company, we usually have a report card, right? And it's filled by different members of the team. It's anonymous. So you don't even know who is saying anything about you. But it's a way of checking that the team is satisfied with you. So yes, you don't speak English, right? But how well are you trying to learn the English? Oh yes, we don't speak Spanish, but how well are we trying to even learn a few things from you? Improve innovation and problem solving within your project. So check yourself. Since I embrace diversity, what has become better? Do I think faster? Am I creating things? Am I being more innovative? Am I creating new things with the speed of light? I saw there's this video that went on internet one time like that. It says, "What do you bring to the table?" And the lady says, "I am the table." And they added this Oke-Eriemo short clip that says, "Shut up," right? And so you are saying you are the table, right? What makes you the table? If you embrace diversity, what did you keep on the table? What did you bring to the table by embracing diversity? If there's nothing on the table, that means you're not doing it well. Positive feedback. I can't stress this enough. I can't share this enough. Don't put anything on the internet or put a product outside that you have not tested. It's why even in today, when you're running tech firms or anything that has to do with tech, you have quality assurance, you have quality control, quality assurance to ensure that they meet the standard. Again, accessibility standard. So you want to go back to IAAP to take their course to build that standard for you. All right. So I'm going to close with this so I can open the floor if you have any questions. Your journey to inclusive success, right? I do hope everyone took a snapshot of that 30-day playbook. Very important. Embracing diversity and accessibility is not just good practice. We're not doing it because it's a norm, it's a buzzword, it's stopping. We're not doing it because it's stopping or it's trending. It's a powerful strategy for sustainable growth and meaningful impact. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I'd go back to my friend in Ghana, like I made mention, Justice. Now, I didn't have anybody in Ghana at the time. So I had a sibling that got a job in Ghana. I wanted to check that it wasn't one of those scam jobs. And I communicated with Justice. Justice went there, checked their site, sent me pictures of the site, and I said, oh, it's legit. But if my company did not embrace diversity and employ someone from Ghana, when my family member was going to Ghana, it would be a strain. So it's a powerful strategy for sustainable growth and meaningful impact across board. It's not just in your business, it's not just in your craft, across board. Diversity is being invited to the party. Inclusion is being asked to dance. So yes, I understand that there's diversity. I know that there's diversity, so you have been invited to the party. Now you now know, right? Inclusion is being asked to dance, meaning you're not saying, oh, now that I know that these things are involved, I want to include them. I want to start putting translations, different language translations into what I do, right? I want to start learning different languages so that I break the barrier and enter those markets. I want to start learning new compliance laws for my company. I want to start learning new labor laws, right, in these various regions because I know that I'm going to be global. So start your journey today and build a future where creativity knows no bounds. Thank you very much. So I'm leaving the floor open now for questions. Questions. Or is anything that I've shared, you want me to go over it, or a slide you want me to take a snapshot of, you want me to go back to the slide, just call my attention. Let's have at it before we bring the session to a close. So the floor is open. Questions. And they often tell us back in the day that when there are no questions, it either means that the teacher did so well or the teacher said rubbish. I'd like to believe that I did so well, but I want questions. So tell us. Oh, thank you very much, Anita. Thank you, Faith. Questions. Let's hear from you. I want to hear from you guys. Okay. I see something from Nathaniel. Oh, by the way, Nathaniel is my dad's name as well. So nice to meet you, Nathaniel. Diversity is being asked to depart. Oh, yeah, yes, you're reiterating it. Brother on the south side, my brother. I see your first, my dad's name is not my brother. First of all, I even saw his name, Oke-Eriemo. Yes, so my name is Gare. If you are not from Delta on this call, sorry. But we just took over the call. No shades. I can start giving you guys Delta names. Now let me start. So while we're waiting for questions to keep the chat room buzzing. Oh, Obaro is from Delta. Sorry. Yes, if you're not Obaro, if you're not Faith is from Delta as well. If you're not Nathaniel, sorry. Even Christabel is from Delta. This is amazing. Okay, so the only people that are not from Delta that I can see from this code I do not know. I think the admin is not from Delta. I don't think it's from Delta. He will tell us. Anita is not from Delta. Anita, let me give you a name. Nathaniel, you confirm with me. Obara, so you confirm with me on the comment section when we give this name. Let's give her let's see. 𝗧cie𝗽𝗶𝗰. Let's give her 𝗧cie𝗽𝗶𝗰. So we're giving Anita. So if we see Anita in the next call, we're not going to be calling her Anita anymore. We'll be calling her 𝗧cie𝗽𝗶𝗰. Is that okay? Let me get a confirmation from my Southside brothers while we're waiting for questions. And before let's open for questions. Thank you, Nathaniel. All right. So who does not have a name now? Let's see. Everybody must get it. Okay, there's Adams. Let's give. I don't know. I feel like giving Adams one of those strong Yoruba names. Okay, let me take a recommendation. Obara, what do you think? What should we give Adams? On Nathaniel, let's take a recommendation from you. What should we give Adams? right? A Delta name. I would also give the host, we'll give him a Delta name too, because I'm sure it's not Delta. It's not from South as well. So Nathaniel, you will give me a name, a Delta name for the admin. Obaro will give me a Delta name for Adams. All right. So we have 1 minute, 1 minute. Let's do that before I hand over the session back to the host. So we must so that when he comes up, we can address him with that name. So maybe when you're putting the name, right, you just tell him what the name means, right? So that he understand that it's blessing. And you understand it's not a curse. Age Rogan. Yes, Anita, yes, yeah, Age Rogan. No. I'm waiting, Obaro. Let's give this boy the name. Okay. Thank you, Faith. Thank you very much. Ogenetega. So who are we giving Ogenetega to? Is it Adams or the admin? Ogene Robo Red to Adams. Obaro, you are in the spirit. I was going to give you Mamu Yowi, but I think Ogene Ruko. You're serious. So. All right, so we're going to give Ogene Fejiro to our admin. So admin, we're going to call you Ogene Fejiro from now. I would give the floor to Nathaniel to tell you what the name means, right? So that it's not all biased. But Fejiro is a very wonderful name. Please go ahead, speak up. Admin, you can speak. I see your hands are up. If you're speaking, your mic is muted. Hello. Let me see if I can unmute you. If you're speaking, your mic is muted. Or are your hands up to say you like the name? Of course, you don't have choice. You have to like the name. There's so many other people here. We'll find you wherever you are in the world. I'm just kidding. We're not threatening you. In case you're speaking, I can't hear you. But let me confirm if it's not my network, right? If you can hear me, just tell me on the comment section that you can hear me. So that I can be sure that it's not on my end. Hello. Okay. Or you can unmute your mic. I want to be sure that you guys can hear me. Okay, you can't hear me, so mute, but you can hear me. All right, fantastic. All right, thank you. Okay. I don't know what we're gonna do now, right? Because I'd love for him to come up before I go. So if you can hear me, okay, FHO that we gave you, it means God is worthy to be praised, right? So going forward, it's even a beautiful name. Is God not worthy to be praised? I'm sure God is faithful in your life, right? So Ogen FHO is your new name, right? The call is going to end in the next, we're going to finish the session in the next 3 minutes. For now, I would stop the recording so that while we wait for him to join in, this other time is not eating into the recording. So, but no questions, questions, even if it's one, or okay, maybe an addition, right, to what I've shared. In addition to what I've shared, remember, diversity is being invited to the party. I have invited every single one of you to the party now. Oh yes, okay. While we're waiting, let me get the link. Let me get the link to the IAAP's platform so you guys can check their accessibility courses there. Give me a minute. Let me stop sharing for now. Sorry, I was even muted. My bad. Admin, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I think maybe I was speaking and you weren't hearing me. So I've dropped the link on the chat box so you can get the courses and trainings on accessibility from the IAAP, right? So yeah, okay. So in the absence of any questions, we're pretty much done with today's session. Done with today's session. So we're going to stop the recording here.